Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Caesar and Otto's Summer Camp Massacre. Alright, so I've only seen this movie one time before. The reason that this movie piqued my interest initially when I first watched it was because it stars Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp, who I'm a big fan of, and this movie is pretty much a parody and an homage to the Sleepaway Camp series, which I don't think there are other movies that are kind of like homages to the Sleepaway Camp series, but a lot of movies that are homages to like summer camp slashers, they're more geared towards like the bigger names, like like Friday the 13th. Like I don't there's a couple, like I said, there's a couple other movies that are homages to Sleepaway Camp, but there's no other like parody movie of the Sleepaway Camp movies. And I mean, I think that's awesome that they made this movie. So there's three movies in like the Caesar and Otto trilogy. There's some short films, I haven't seen those, but there's like three feature length films. There's this one, which is Summer Camp Massacre. There's Deadly Christmas and Paranormal Halloween. So, these movies are all, they all have like a seasonal theme, which I'm a huge fan of. I'm a sucker for like seasonal horror movies. I have like a soft spot for Christmas horror movies. Of course, Halloween themed horror movies are the bee's knees. Summer camp horror movies are awesome. Like, I love that stuff. And like I was saying about this movie, how this parody Sleepaway Camp, which is Sleepaway Camp is known in like if you're like a slasher fan, but like it's not one of the big horror franchises. Like, it's you wouldn't really find like a Sleepaway Camp shirt at like Walmart, but you would find like a Friday the 13th. Like Friday the 13th is more of like a pop culture phenomenon. Like Sleepaway Camp is popular in its own right. It's not like super underground, but it doesn't, like, in notoriety, it doesn't stack up with the big three franchises. And the other one of the other Caesar and Otto movies, Deadly Christmas, parodies like the Silent Night Deadly Night movies. It mainly parodies Silent Night Deadly Night 2, which I'm a huge fan of. That's one of the like funniest, like unintentionally funny horror movies of all time. Like, I mean, that garbage day line, that's the best line in movie history. I mean, come on, like what's better than that? But anyways, like that movie parodies the Silent Night Deadly Night films, which, like this, that's not, you know, a huge popular franchise. So like I really respect these movies for, they're like for hardcore horror fans. Like they parody franchises that like hardcore horror fans know, but like they're not like super big pop culture franchises that everyone would know. So like I'm really glad that these were made. I've seen all three. I like all three. They're not like the best movies ever. They're extremely low budget, you can tell, but for what they are, I think they're really fun and they're really entertaining. Like these movies, they don't take themselves very seriously. All the comedy is like super silly and lighthearted. Like there's like a charm to these movies. And yeah, it's like super low budget, so going in you have to know that. But like once you get past that, I think these are enjoyable movies. Like if you want to have a couple of drinks, watch a fun horror parody, I think these are fun. And I really respect the filmmakers, because you can tell like they didn't make this to like make $1 million. They didn't make this, you know, to get a bunch of notoriety. Like, they made this because they loved the genre and they wanted to make a movie. So yeah, this was actually written and directed by Dave Cantfield, who he plays Caesar, and he did this other movie with well, he like directed all the Caesar and Otto, all three Caesar and Otto movies, and he, you know, plays Caesar in every single one. But he also did this one movie with Felissa Rose that I haven't seen. It has like 3 titles, which is super confusing, but it's called, the titles are Under Surveillance, Dark Chamber, and Say You Love the Devil. That's all titles for one movie, but he did that movie with Felissa Rose also, and that's more of like a more like serious, straightforward horror thriller. So that I want to see. But it's cool that, like, you know, he like wears so many hats. Like, he wrote this movie, he directed it, he's one of the main characters, he also co-produced it. Like, that's why I like, one of the reasons why I respect all these like low budget filmmakers, because it's like, it's so much harder. Like, you have like so much more work to do. Like, you have to do 5 different jobs on the set. Like, I mean he was doing it all, and I think it worked out. So let me see. Yep, I talked about the other Caesar and Otto movies. So yeah, Felissa Rose plays Carrie. She gets like an awesome entrance. Like, when she comes in, it's epic. It's not just like her, like, she actually plays like a pretty significant role in the movie. She's not just like a cameo, but yeah, she makes an awesome entrance. It's like super fitting because she's like one of the, you know, big stars that they're like selling this movie around. Her name's Carrie. She's kind of like mysterious, suspicious, like, I don't know, like, she might be up to no good. But there was like a couple like direct references to Sleepaway Camp and like jokes in her expense. So like, they're talking about her, and like Otto thinks she's hot, and Caesar, he's like, yeah, you know, like, word, like, I'm just paraphrasing, but he's like, yeah, word around town is that girl, yeah, she's got a penis, dude. So it's like, that was super funny, direct reference to Sleepaway Camp. And then like Otto goes over and tries to like shoot his shot. He's like trying to flirt with her, and she just hits him with like the blank stare and like the big eyes from Sleepaway Camp. And then it's like funny because she's just hitting him with the straight face when he's trying to talk to her, and then like this other guy comes up immediately after, and she's like all like bubbly and flirtatious, and you know, just like talking his ear off. So like, I thought that was like a pretty good joke. Like, you know, like the jokes in this movie, like, people could knock them because they're like, you know, like simple setups, and there's like a lot of slapstick, and it's all like lighthearted, silly, goofy humor. It's like pretty low brow, but like, I think that adds to the charm. It's just lighthearted, it's fun, it's not trying to be smart, it's not pretentious, it's just supposed to be like a fun time, and it's like, it's not dark. You know, some of these low budget movies, like, they have to be like as dark and edgy as possible. This is like just a fun, lighthearted, like feel good movie. Like, it's just, the comedy is just, it was good. I was chuckling here and there. Like, I thought the comedy was done pretty well. So you know, that's what's up. Felissa Rose's husband is also in this. His name's Darren Miller, and he plays this musician, because he's a musician in real life. He's in the band CKY. I think Bam Margera's brothers in that band, but they're like, you know, like homies with all like the Jackass guys and stuff. But yeah, he plays this musician, and he's like, yeah, my name's Dick, because that's what a lot of people think I am. And like, he tries to get with this girl, and basically like, he's like got this tough like macho guy attitude, because he's like this like hard rocker metal guy. But then, you know, he's got problems in the bedroom. Like, he's got some dysfunction, if you know what I mean. He can't, get his thing up. So, it's like a whole like contrast. Like, oh, I'm this like tough macho metal singer, but then it's like he's not confident in the bedroom like that. That was his funny. His character was funny. And like I think he was like the first kill, and he got his head chopped off, and that's something else I wanted to get into, like the kills and all like the practical effects in this movie. They're not like the best ever. They're not like the most realistic, but for like the budget, I think they're very serviceable. There's this one instance where this swimmer guy, he like tries to hide in this like vat of like toxic waste, and he's like all melting. That looked really good. You got the head chop off, like, the kills for what this movie is, for the budget. Yeah, they weren't the best looking kills ever. It didn't look super realistic, but I thought they were like very serviceable. For what the movie was, they were good. And getting back to this guy in the toxic waste, I was just thinking like his character was kind of weird because he was like trying to be cool and say he's like a professional swimmer. Like, is a professional swimmer even a real thing? Like, you could be like an Olympic swimmer, but like unless you're like top of the top and you got crazy endorsements, like you're like Michael Phelps or something, you're not like making a living off of it really. Like, there's no like NFL for swimming. Like, why wouldn't, if he's trying to be cool and like this like cool charismatic athlete, why doesn't he say he's like a football player or something? Like, why would you say I'm a professional swimmer? Like, is that even real? Like, is that even a thing? Like, I didn't know about that. But he was straight capping on that. He was just like some lifeguard who lost his job. So I mean, he was just trying to front, trying to be cool, pick the least cool sport. Like, homeboy might as well have said I'm a pro soccer player. You know what I mean? And everyone would have been like, we don't care. You're a swimmer. Who cares? Like, you're a football player. You're a hockey player. Baseball player. Cool. But like, you're a professional swimmer. Like, what do you do? Backstroke? Like, get out of my face. Get out of here. It's not cool. Pick a cooler sport if you're trying to make this whole fake persona and be cool, my dude. Another thing, I already mentioned Felissa Rose, but you got some other familiar faces. You got Brink Stevens. I've talked about her in a bunch of videos. She's in a ton of horror movies. She pops in. She's only has like a small role. Cool to see her. And then, I've seen all three of these Caesar Otto movies, and it's like, Dave Canfield like uses like the same people every time, and they're all, like likable on screen, so it's like cool to see them. There's some familiar faces, so I dig it, Yeah, pretty much talked about the comedy. I mean, I'm telling you what, I pretty much, but I was just looking over my notes, and a lot of stuff I wrote down at the bottom, at the end of my notes, is like stuff I've already gone over. So, overall, it was cool to see Felissa Rose, cool to see Brink Stevens. I like all the effort that was put into this movie. Dave Canfield went hard. He was, doing everything. They had like no budget. All these actors, they had like day jobs too, and like Felissa Rose was like juggling a family. Like, these people like put in work. They made a fun, entertaining movie. I think it's cool. What other like comedy parody of the sleepaway camp films do we have? We don't have one. So it's like, I'm glad this was made. This is a fun time. This is a fun summer watch. The kills are not bad. I would definitely recommend it. Like, going in though, you gotta know it's super low budget, and it is, pretty silly and lowbrow. It's like, it's not, like I said, it's not trying to be something it's not. But if that sounds interesting to you, like, this is a fun movie, a fun summertime movie to just kick back. You don't have to think too hard. It's just a nice, light, enjoyable watch. You might laugh a couple times. You might enjoy the references if you're a horror fan, if you're a sleepaway camp fan. So yeah, at the end of the day, I had fun with this and I would recommend it. That's pretty much all I have to say for my review. Thank you very much for watching, and peace out.